So I was born in China. My mom said something to me. I want my daughter to go beyond China. My mom noticed just based on a monthly salary with the stable job are not enough to send her daughter to abroad. So she started to selling her street business, and then she will push a little trolley where sell the ice cream, tobacco on the street. So she worked really hard in order to achieve my dream. So when I was living in China, I always felt I'm not good enough. By living in different countries, I also realized actually every single human are insecure. No one is absolutely secure. If you ask me one thing about myself, I feel it's really to be very clear about what kind of mom that make you feel you still want to dream. You still want to, you still feel a lot of passion,
Hi everyone, welcome back to The Shining Women. And today's episode is very close to my heart because we are gonna talk about motherhood and womanhood as well. And we are also gonna talk about identity, culture, family manager, and how we choose what kind of parents that we want to become. And also today I want to introduce my guest. She is someone I deeply admire. She is a global business consultant with Innate Motion. And also, she's a co owner of sustainable furniture brand Momiji and a mother of two young boys. She has lived across China, Singapore, and also Switzerland and Germany. And she has built businesses across borders. So today we're gonna learn a lot from her, and beyond all the title, she is a woman navigating between discipline and freedom, tradition, and evolution. And Jasmine, welcome to the Shining Woman.
Hi, Dita. Hi, everyone.
Mhm.
Super nice to be here. And then thanks for the amazing introduction. Even myself don't know, oh, I have so many experiences in my life.
Yes, and then we also gonna have a really good talk because
Yeah,
we're
it's
gonna.
a very easy topic for us because we are both moms and also we are both working as well. So when Dita talked to me about this topic, I said, yes, I'm going to do it because it's very important for all the women who are working, who are mom, who carry multiple identities these days. So I love the topic and then really want to share, our own experiences and point of view to everyone just to see hope to get to give some inspirations for everyone.
Yes, this is very interesting because we have that you just mentioned multiple identities. So not only a woman, but also a mother and a career woman, and then also a girl that built our dream. So it's like all these identities into one. So how we are gonna like put everything together and live our life by also taking care of the family. So it's like a special skill to do it. But before we go far, I'm gonna ask also for the
Sure.
kids. Yeah, how are they nowadays? Are they good?
Yeah. So I have two boys. One is going to be 5 years old actually next week. And I also have the other one, elder one is 7 years old. So he's going to be 8 this year. They are good. I mean, they are boys. Boys are, running everywhere, a lot of energy, but they are happy.
Okay. I mean, to raise one boy is already extra work, and two boys is like you're a superhero, you Wonder Woman to raise them. So before we jump into your life today, maybe we will go back first. It's interesting about you because you live in different countries. You
Yes.
were born and raised in Asia, in China. So maybe start from that. So how is your childhood? Maybe we can also understand more how you grew up.
Okay, sure. So I was born in China, and then the province is called Hubei. Hubei province, Yichang city is considered the third tier city in China. So it's not a big city; it's a small city, but it's still big.
We know Hubei.
Yeah. So I would say my childhood, the most important thing was all the experiences I had with my mom. The the education environment, how we usually grew up in China, there were a lot of expectations on what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and then especially a lot of pressure on academical success, even in the primary school.
Wow.
So my memory were, all about study, tuition. You need to work harder. There's no number two is not good. You need to be number one or top five. So that's the environment I grew up. Nothing I could change right back then, because that's the norm in education system, education culture as well. But I think what I was really grateful was about my mom. So my mom always tell me, hey, just try your best. I don't really care about your result. But what I care the most is you are giving your best. So don't compare yourself with other people, just compare with yourself. So that part really, gave me a lot of freedom, gave me a lot of assurance. I don't need to compete with other people. So that's the best part. I think the other unique experiences is, my mom used to work for a national company as an accountant.
Okay.
Yeah, my
Which is
father.
good.
Yeah, my father was a salesperson, also like a national company. Back then, it was something people are proud of. You work for a national company, you have a stable job, and then everything were good. But my mom said something to me. She said, I think, I want my daughter to go beyond China, to go overseas. I want my daughter to see different side of life, different cultures in the world. So that seed really rooted in my head. So started for me wanting to see more. Like for example, I think back then, in 80s when I was only 6 years old or 8 years ago, in the small city in China, you don't see a lot of foreigners. But whenever I saw foreigner, I will go there and I will say, "Hey, how are you? Can I chat with you?" So that's one example. And then so because of that mindset, my mom noticed, just based on the monthly salary, with the stable job, are not enough to send her daughter to abroad to achieve that dream. So she started to selling her street business. So she became one of the street vendor after work. Like she usually finished the work around 6 p.m. and then she will push a little trolley where sell the ice cream, tobacco on the street.
Wow.
Yeah, so she worked really hard in order to achieve my dream. Actually, I mean, it's also her dream as well. We had a common dream. Yeah, so it turns out, I was after school, I always do my homework, on a little bench and next to my mom. And then she was selling the tobacco, interacting with the customers, calculating the money. Then I was the one just sitting next to her on a little bench, do my homework. And sometimes, when I became older, I also help her to sell the ice cream.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think that's the very unique experience to me as well. Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting. So working hard is just is already a norm, but your mom has a bigger vision, which is maybe not too normal compared to the parents back then. What makes her like that?
Yeah, I think it's a very good question, right? I also asked myself that question. Actually, I also asked my mom. So when I was 5 years old, my mom was riding the bike to fetch me up from the preschool, like the kindergarten. So unfortunately, we got a really terrible car accident. It was a truck. I think the driver was a bit drunk. He had alcohol, so I couldn't remember much, but I had pieces of memories. Like my mom was lying on the floor, and then there were so many people surround us trying to help. So anyway, during that accident, actually my mom got really bad injury. She could lose her life. And after this drama, after this tragedy, but I mean, she survived, of course. Luckily, she survived. So she told me one thing. She said when she was lying in the bed, actually she didn't know her life was about to end. But of course, it didn't. She was in such a severe situation. She was still very positive about life. She was still thinking, oh, I have so many things I need to do with my daughter, with my family. So she never had any negative thought. She was just not overthinking, and then really trust the doctor, and then had a very, very positive spirit. So after that, she told me, you know what, in life, it's not about overthinking, and then you only live once. So we all need to dream. We all need to have a dream. So once you have that dream, let's just work on it and make it happen. So I think that accident, that car accident, she almost was going to die, but then somehow miracle happened. She survived. I think that experiences really taught her, live once, make sure you have a dream, and then work on your dream. And then dreaming is not just a dream, make it happen as well. Yeah.
Wow, that's a life-changing moment.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you get your life back, and then you need to be wise to move forward, do more, and especially she has one more chance to live with her daughters. Must be breakthrough journey also for her,
Yeah.
which is good. She already bring you to where you are today, and finally, your mom can send the daughter, the only daughter, to live abroad, to study abroad. And then how you compare your life when you're in China and then you move to another country. Which country that you were moved for the first time?
Yeah. So actually, so of course, my mom made our dream come true. I went to Singapore to study. So that's the first foreign country I lived. Actually, after Singapore, I moved back to Shanghai as well. Then after Shanghai, so in Shanghai I met my husband, and then we moved to Frankfurt, Germany, and then afterwards we lived in Switzerland, Basel. So now we back to Asia, Singapore again. So so far that's the countries I've lived. Yeah.
So it's nice. You had an experience not only in Asia but also in Europe. So you know the differences. And then after you moved to Singapore for how many? 8 years?
The first time I think I left my country when I was 15. So I think around 5 or 6 years.
6 years. And then you move
Back to China, yeah,
in
Shanghai.
in China. So what's different from you after you got a lot of experience from other country?
I
What's
think
different?
Having experiences outside of your home country really make you super clear on what are the cultures in my own country I appreciate. What are the cultures or values from my own country that's really not for me. So I think that clarity really become important for me. So for example, like, I always think, oh, living in China, there are so many rules, so many norms, so many things I just need to follow. Who am I? What's my identity? I felt there was no freedom for me to be who I am.
Yeah.
But after Singapore, to be honest,
It's many more rules in Singapore.
yeah, Singapore also have many rules. So the moment when I moved back to Shanghai, I noticed, oh, actually, you know what? There seems many rules I need to follow, but it's all in my head. It's more about in Shanghai, actually, you can find many alternative options that also make things work. So I suddenly, like, my creativity, my curiosity, just like, it used to be locked in a box. So then after the Singapore experiences, suddenly my, creativity, curiosity just came out. So I start to enjoy life much more in my own way, in a creative way, to find alternative options, not against rules, but find a ways, to enjoy my life in the way I want. Yeah, Singapore, I just find, oh wow, it's even stricter.
Yeah.
When the rule is there, there's no alternative way. So in that perspective, I felt, yeah, I really rediscover my creativity and curiosity as a person. But then on the part, I felt some culture or some values that really is not me, then I should just stop pretending that's me. For example, the Chinese culture is also very pragmatic. Only think about, hey, what's the result? What do I get out from this relationship? If I make a friend with you, a lot of rationale, pragmatism behind every decision. You need to think through everything. You cannot just follow your feeling, your heart. You need to really think, why am I doing what I'm doing? So I think that part is really not me, because I find that will give me a headache. Also, make me feel very depressed. So I know we need to think twice before we make decision, but I'm just a person, very intuitive, like follow my heart to make friends as well. So yeah. So I think that part is really important for me to identify the values that's for me, the values that's not for me.
That's interesting. Sometimes the culture and then maybe the environment where you live, because it's all been there for so many years, you become like that, but it's not you. What we know about the Chinese people, they work really with their head, and it's all about all the numbers and etc. Maybe like intuition, like you said, and then what you feel is doesn't really matters because you cannot really put that in numbers. So it's more like competition all the time. But you chose. Your identity over like the norms because you've seen a lot more than where you was born and raised, which is really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got the clarity that like you said before. So is was your friends, your family was a bit shocked to see like the differences in you, or that's the way they what they expected?
It's really funny. So when I was living in China, I always felt I'm not good enough. I always felt, oh, I never got the score result my dad was expecting, and then I was never the top students. So, but since I lived outside of China, and then every time when I go back to China, then I really felt my parents are very proud of me. Not because I have a big house or huge title or wealthy, not that perspective, but they just felt I'm very inspiring, I'm very unique as a human being. So even when they introduce me to our neighbors, and then they would say, oh, this is my daughter, so I can really feel the spark in their eyes. So yeah, I think that's really interesting. I think it's either they change, or because of my experiences in different countries, then I have also very, very certain about my identity, who I am. So I also became much more confident, from the girl who said, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not good, I'm not smart, I never been number one, then became someone say, hey, I'm not good on this, but I'm good on something else, right? Yeah.
Wow, that's nice. In a way, you actually prove that to be successful is when you feel comfortable with what you pursue in life, and then that's also radiance, like also make your parents feel the same, which is you taught your parents how to proud of their children, their daughter.
Yeah. But I think also along the journey of life experiences by living in different countries, I also realize uh, actually every single human are insecure. No one is absolutely secure. So I'm part of that. So I shouldn't be ashamed, to behave insecure or share my vulnerabilities with other mothers or with my colleagues. I think people would appreciate when you start to do that. Then it become a safe place for everyone, just being genuine, being honest, and then we don't have to do this kind of pushing competitive behavior in a corporate world or in the mother's community. So I think that's really important. Yeah.
Interesting. Let's dive more to your journey, become more understanding about the all this journey that you just mentioned. So, how about your motherhood? When was it when you got the first child? Yeah, the first one.
So the first one, we always make a joke. He was made in Germany, manufactured in China, and then maintained in Switzerland. So now I don't know how to describe it now. Continue the maintenance or nourishment in Singapore. So yeah, so I got him when I was living in Germany. Yeah.
Okay, so he experienced so many exposure from different country. So how was the motherhood, and then how to raise the kids actually in different country? We just
Culture,
yeah, different culture. Compare with China when you were small, and then maybe in Europe. How do
Yeah.
you see that?
Yeah. I think, to be honest, in Europe, so I started my motherhood in Europe, right? So I'm also grateful and glad I started my motherhood with the first one in Europe, because I will tell you one example to explain the differences. So, like when we were in Germany and Switzerland, there are always a playground, nature. For kids to play, like they play sand or water or slides. So, of course, I copy how the mothers usually behave in that environment. So usually the mothers, we don't really run after kids. We don't really follow them. We just let them to play. But then, of course, when we saw a baby is trying to swallow something, we will, of course, run to grab it. And then we only go when the boys or when the kids start to have a physical fight and with a danger. So then, of course, that's where we will interfere and then to stop or to talk. But usually majority of the moms, like, you just having a tea, having a beer together or having a drink. We are talking about our life, and then sometimes also about kid stuff. But there was no behavior running after kids all the time. Yeah. So I think if I start my motherhood in Asia, I would be more protective. I would be really running after kids, make sure my kid is very polite, sharing all the time,
Yeah.
not cut the cues, and then with the slide, always follow the same direction. Don't climb up, make sure it's not dangerous. Hey, behave, not too dangerous. And when you play the sound, play carefully. Don't make the sound on other people's body. So I don't know if you can sense the differences. So that's why I'm glad I started my motherhood in Europe. So that gave me a lot of space to see different perspective of being a mother. So you don't always need to run after your kids. But then I think we should give them a bit space for them to also discover, and then their own identity, their own space of creativity, and then their capability to interact with other kids as well. They only need us when they need us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's so different. And then you said about the Asia is, I think, is the same in every country in Asia. In Indonesia, it's also the same. Like the mom has a big role to protect the kids. Which is, what do you think about a protective mother? It's a good thing, or it's supposed to be changed from time to time? Needs to
I
be.
don't think so. Again, I mean, I'm not perfect in my motherhood. I'm still learning as well, because things change a lot, in the growth journey of the kids. So I'm also learning. I'm also trying to be better. I really don't want to say what is good or what is bad, because every kid is different. Every mom is different. Our childhood are also very different.
Yes.
But what I want to say is I felt to be very clear about who we are as a person is very important, because in a situation, so for example, for me, I'm very sure I cannot just be a housewife. Nothing wrong with housewife. If you are happy with to become a housewife, not working, why not? But I just cannot. So I'm the mom. I will definitely not sacrifice everything just because my kids. So I'm always try my best, looking for a balance, to be a mom, to be a career woman, to also have a bit fun time for myself. So it's a journey for me as well. So that's why I will never be aspire to be the protective mom. But there's nothing wrong to be a protective mom. If you that makes you happy, why not? Yeah.
The differences of how we raise the kids, it's all altered and tailored. It's all different in every mom's, every kids, every family, every generation. So there's still like, is it good or bad?
Yeah.
But maybe you prefer to give some freedom to your kids compared to be like protective, like what usually people do. So it's all doesn't matter. It's just like, if you feel
Yeah.
comfortable doing that, just keep going.
Yeah, exactly. I think motherhood is a learning journey. Sometimes uh how I talk to my kids is also not the way I want to.
But in reality, it's always like different.
Yeah, and also what's interesting, after I spoke to my kids in that way, then I said, oh, I am actually repeating the pattern of my dad.
Oh,
Right?
sometimes we just realize I've become more like my parents after I've grown
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really don't feel, I don't want to give any advices to parents. Oh, what is good, what is bad? And it's difficult to define, especially in the world we live today. There's no black and white path for mothers to follow, for kids to follow. I don't think the world we live today need more voices. Hey, this is bad, this is good, you should do this. There are enough information on this. So I would, if you ask me one thing about myself, I feel it's really to be very clear about what kind of mom that make you feel you still want to dream, you still want to, you still feel a lot of passion, you know. That's really important for me. If I'm that, like a zombie, I think that's not the type of person I want to be. I think for everyone, you do need to feel the passion in life. You do need to feel, I want to do this. So then doesn't matter. So I think that's the first question we should all ask ourselves, not our kids. Like, what kind of person you want to be? And then that will help you to become the mom you are supposed to be.
Okay, that's